Shooting fish in a barrel. That's what we're going to talk about today. All right, so basically you got a barrel full of fish, and you're going to shoot it with a gun. Shooting fish in a barrel. That's the topic of today's video. Shooting fish in a barrel. What am I talking about? Well, you got this pro-life group, and they're fighting against surgical abortion and things like that. Putting a needle in the heart of the baby and everything like that, and causing the baby's death. You got the potassium chloride and everything like that. It's so barbaric. I mean, this is absolutely wrong. I think any sane person can say it's wrong, but they're going to try to debate these feminist whack job women, these psychopathic murderesses, right? A murderess that killed her own child, like there's no getting through to her, like there's none. Okay, sure, there's the gospel and the forgiveness of sins through the perfect sinless lamb, the perfect lamb of God that died on the cross for our sins. I mean, there is that. But what are you doing here? Let's say, for example, you run a pro-life group like I'm doing here. I'm a lone wolf here. Why? Because I advocate against birth control, right? Birth control is absolutely monstrous. It's a monstrosity beyond any words that you can imagine. But trying to get any kind of pro-life, they will agree. They will literally agree with me. They say, yeah, birth control actually does almost prevent pregnancy. It actually causes early abortion at 8 days, right? So yesterday I was teaching embryology, and I was teaching this young boy. He's his parents are hoping to become a doctor, so we're doing pre-med. Anyway, teaching embryology, and he's there saying, "Well, look, I never knew about this thing. What about the zygotic genome activation and things like that?" Right? So and I guess that's the thing. They don't really see the face of the baby, so they for some reason they believe that advocacy for surgical abortions and IVF. So I don't get it, right? The embryo that was created through IVF, for them, that's something worth fighting about. And they're filing lawsuits left, right, and center. But as soon as you say birth control, for some reason they start going silent on you, and they're like, yeah, I'm busy, I got stuff to do here, something's more important than your advocacy. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what is the point of this thing? Why is there such a cloud above these people's heads when it comes to this birth control topic, right? And another guy, and fellow Acadian, I'm an Acadian, he's a French descendant, so we came to the New World from France, and it's called Acadie. Anyway, Acadie was taken over by the British Crown, if you're not sure about the 1755 deportation. So basically, this Acadie, this Acadian guy, he agrees, or no, wait a minute, he doesn't believe, like he agrees with abortion, and he's like a Christian and everything like that, but like as soon as you talk about birth control, he's like, oh, that's a scary thing that you're talking about. Anyway, back to anything else. And then he gets distracted, and I talk to him again, and he says, is there do you have any kind of proof about that? And I'm like, well, here's the proof. And I list the evidence beyond any doubt at all. And he's like, yeah, well, that would be a pretty scary thing if that were true. And it didn't click, right? It certainly didn't click. And, don't get me wrong, it took me a long time for me to click. It took me a long time for it to click for me, right? It took me a long time for it being the birth control causes embryonic death, to click for me. I was like, well, is this actually true? I had to check my daughter here. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Daughter. It took a long time for that to click for me. And then I was like, hey, if this is true, then, the value of this embryo is the equal value of a fully grown man or a fully grown, woman. Same value. There's no difference in value. Yeah, but you can't see the face, so I don't really care. That's basically what they're saying. I can't see the face of the baby, and I can't see there's a positive pregnancy test, so I don't care. Right? That's what they're saying to me. That's literally the whole argument. It's very sad. It's very sad that my advocacy, and that's why my advocacy is so important. And I don't care how many people agree with me. I don't care how many views that I have. Right? It's incredible. Right? And we're going to make another video in a minute about that Massachusetts governor. So they're, oh my goodness, you can't do that to a baby up till birth, but it's okay until 24 weeks, right? It's nonsense, right? Up till the first even prior to the zygotic genome activation, even prior. This is a baby. There's literally two cell divisions that has to do prior to the baby getting its own, his or her own genetic code, right? His own genetic code. They are assisted by the maternal DNA and everything like that. And anyway, if you want to talk about that more, you can pick up an embryology textbook, and it'll debunk any kind of thing that the American Association of China gynecology and obstetricians will spew their nonsense that implantation is asserting a pregnancy. That's absolute nonsense, right? But we know that on this channel. We know that they're lying. They're absolutely they're dirty, rotten liars. So what's the point of this video? Shooting fish in a barrel. All right, let's get back to the point of this video. I do apologize for getting away from the topic. The shooting fish in a barrel. All right, so basically we have this pro-lifer guy, Byron, right? This Byron he's holding up signs on the highway, says, you know, pro-life, we gotta, you know, ban abortions, which we do. We absolutely do. We do, and he's right. You know, I'm not saying he's a bad guy for doing that. I'm saying he's a great guy. But when it comes down to, you know, birth control, which we also have to completely ban, right? There's oh yeah, how can you ban birth control? You know, the females need to fornicate, extramarital sex and all that stuff, right? No, they don't. No, they don't. They never did in the past, and they certainly don't need to do that now. It's a travesty what men need to settle for, right? And you want to marry a virgin? Are you whatever you want to call it? Yes, of course. Every kind of man wants to marry a virgin. Every man wants to marry a chaste virgin. I mean, but it's not going to happen. Why? Because of this nonsense. That's not even the worst thing. The worst thing, it causes embryonic death. Right? So this is an unjust burden on this child that has lost their right to life. Right? This is a child. Right? No less valuable just because of the stage of development. And anybody that's going to put forth that argument, right, will do so in error and folly. Right? There's no justification for that argument at all. Just because the baby is whatever stage of development. It's a teenager. It has less value than an adult, right? It's an old person. It has less value than a child, right? That's what they're saying. That's literally what they're saying. This is a developing human in the embryonic stage, or the zygotic state. Well, it would be an embryonic stage. So basically what happens, you got the zygote, the single cell, then after that it goes through the cleavage, right? That's a very, very important step. Lots more can be said about that. And then what happens is that this after this 4 to L8 cell stage, there's this zygotic genome activation, right? And you know, pro-life groups are absolutely silent about this. Absolutely silent. They will never say anything about that, right? They will be very interested in talking about the IVF. The IVF, of course, yeah, there's millions of babies that are being, you know, I'm on this group. It's called Adopting Embryos. Adopting Embryos. It's a Facebook group, and it's absolutely monstrous. It's a monstrosity. The kind of conversations I go on that group. I'm on that group just for fun. No, it's not fun. It's just to have an incredible perspective on what these people actually talk about. They're saying, yeah, you know, these embryos aren't needed. These babies aren't needed, so we will discard them if nobody wants to adopt them. They say it, right? This is a baby. It's an absolute baby. Right? Anyway, if you're interested in some wacky conversations, go to that Facebook group. It's called Adopting Embryos. Yeah, right. Just replace the word embryo, zygote, morula, blastocyst, you know, fetus for baby, because that's what it is. He or she is. And the only reason I say it, because I made a mistake. Anytime that you hear me say it, is because I made a mistake, and it's easy to make a mistake. So, you know, we got a toddler running around here. You know, so is she less valuable because she's, you know, she's 4 years old now. She had a birthday. My 4-year-old daughter, Françoise. So what we're doing here today, we're at the park and we're reading her a bunch of books. Right. So I got a briefcase full of books, and just read about 10 or 11 books here to my eager, young, healthy mind. My daughter with a very developed 4-year-old brain, and she's very smart, very beautiful and lovely, and I love her so much. All right, so basically what happened is I lost a child, right? I lost a baby, right? I lost this, oh, just an embryo, it doesn't really matter. No, this is a fully formed, developing human, right? It's a baby, right? And then these pro-lifers. Okay, back to shooting fish in a barrel. I promise that'll be the end. Okay, so just 1 or 2 more minutes here. All right, shooting fish in a barrel. All right, so these pro-lifers are very, very interested in surgical abortions. They're going to advocate. They're going to try to get. Listen, you cannot go there to have a surgical abortion. That's wrong. You can't kill your baby, and that's true, and that's absolutely true. We you know, who does that, right? A lot lot of people, a lot of women do, and a lot of men will push their girlfriends to have an abortion. It's horrible. It's really, really bad. So then, that's easy advocacy. Very, very easy advocacy. IVF. Again, they're filing lawsuits left, right, and center. But when it comes time to talk about what the pro-life that I'm talking about, the anti-birth control bills, right? Silent. Furthermore, they're blocking me. They're blocking me from the pro-life group for talking about that. It's incredible, right? They blocked me on the pro-life group. I'm not even joking. They blocked me for showing leadership, initiative, and talking about what really matters is that these babies, right, these babies are dying, and it's supposed to be an abolitionist group or pro-life group or whatever you want to call it. They're supposed to advocate for the innocent and the weakest among us, right? That in the earliest stages of our development, right, that are being massacred. And where are they? Right? They're blocking me. Right? They're literally blocking me. Right? So they're shooting fish in a barrel. They're doing the easy advocacy. Right? I would suggest that is important as well, but also of equal importance is the birth control issue, because the birth control pills cause embryonic death, and that is a very, very serious thing. And I do appreciate your tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.